These are the top 5 best guns with the best classes that you need to be using right now. With the honorable mention going towards the MCW, I wasn't going to include this to the list, but it is the most consistent, most reliable gun in the game. Every single player that hops onto this game will pop off with the MCW, so I had to include it to the list. And then for the secondary, we do have the Karambit on here just so he can run around the map a little bit quicker. And then if you tie in this with the infantry vest, you can tack sprint a lot longer, and you actually get a lot of kills with the Karambit since there is insane lunge. It's a very broken secondary in this game. Then we got the stim in case we're about to die. We can pop the stim. In my opinion, I think the Semtex is going to be the best lethal, so that's why I threw it onto the MCW. Got the munitions box on here just because we're not going to really ever be dying, so to have extra ammo, we got the munitions box. Although if you do die a lot, then the DDoS is a very good one. For the gloves, I do recommend you guys to run the marksman gloves because this is going to reduce the amount of flinch you take when the enemies shoot at you. Plus you're going to have less sway, so then you'll have more of like a predictable regular recoil pattern on your gun. Got the covert sneakers so you can run around without the enemies hearing your footsteps. Then we got the EOD, so we don't really have to worry about nades, although Ghost and the mag holster bone conduction are also pretty good. Basically it's all personal preference. Now for the MCW build, so this one is going to have absolutely no recoil, very clean sight, and just overall it's going to be the best one for pubs. With the blooded break, this one will eliminate all the vertical recoil. Yes, we are losing a little bit of our damage range, but that's okay because we got the cyclone barrel to bring that back up. Yes, we are losing some mobility, but this gun already has a lot of mobility to where you're not going to really notice that. So for the iron sights, this one is personal preference. If you are going to swap out anything, I would take off the optic. If you take off the optic, try adding the Regal Heavy. You're going to notice you have 0 recoil, or you could even go down to the ammunition, add the high grain rounds, which this one is going to increase the effective damage range by 15%. So now you are going to be able to get that 3-4 shot kill up to 35.3 meters instead of the 30.7 meters, which that's honestly the biggest downside of the MCW is that it just doesn't have the best damage range. So that's a pretty good variation. And then we got the 40 round mag on here just so we don't have to worry about reloading as much. In this game, it takes a lot more shots to kill the enemy, so the 40 round mag is going to help you out a lot. Then for the last attachment on this build, we got the claw grip. This one is going to add a lot of firing aim stability, so now your gun isn't going to sway in the middle of a gunfight. It's going to be very stable. Plus, we get a lot of recoil control with this rear grip. Overall, this build right here is a very balanced one. And just remember, you can take off the optic for that stock. You can maybe add the hand stop if you want a lot more mobility on the gun. You can add a laser, or you can add the high grain rounds. Honestly, for me, this is like one of my favorite builds in the game. But that is going to wrap it up for the MCW. Now, let's get into the next gun. This is going to be the DG56. We all know the master camos look amazing in Modern Warfare 3, but they take hundreds of hours to get. So if you want to save yourself some time, I would definitely check out Guapsi. Guapsi is a very reliable company who will play in your account and unlock anything you want with a very fast delivery time. They have been sponsoring me for a long time, and I haven't seen a single negative review, and so I would really check them out. I'll have their link in the description. This is a very dominant weapon within multiplayer and in Warzone. Does not matter the mode you're playing. This is a great weapon and a great class. For the secondary, we do have the Renetti. This is going to be my favorite Renetti in the game. We got no recoil, a lot of range, super easy to use. You guys will definitely be popping off with that. So in here, we got the infantry vest again for the same reasons. Got the stun and the Semtex. Again, doesn't really matter what you're rocking in these areas. Got the munitions box, marks and gloves, covert sneakers, and the EOD padding. So for the DG56 build, since this gun has a little bit of vertical recoil and it has a 1 burst kill potential, so that means we need to hit all the shots on the enemy with every burst if we want to maximize that time to kill. So to make that a little bit easier, we are adding the bulleted break. You're going to notice you get so many 1 burst kills with the bulleted break. And then for the barrel, we are going to be adding the DG56 barrel. This one's going to increase that damage range, increasing that 1 burst kill potential up to 38.8 meters, which if we look at the headshot damage, it has a damage of 56. So make sure you get 1 to 2 headshots in the burst if you want to get that 1 burst kill. This is also going to be adding a little bit of recoil control, overall making this weapon a lot more consistent. And then just so we can spam out a lot of shots, we got the 40 round mag. Although this 40 round mag will be the personal preference part of the build, you can add whatever you want in place of the 40 if you don't really want the 40. Same reasons could go for the optic. For me, I don't really like the iron sights. I do a lot better with this build when I do have the Mark III reflector, although the NIDAR model 2023 and then the Slate reflector are pretty good. Cronin is a very good optic because it builds in a laser to your optic, so you kind of have like 2-in-1. Although for me, I don't really like to run a laser on my build. If I were to take off the 40 round mag or an optic, honestly, I would go over to the rear grip and then I would add the Varania steady grip. I think that's how you say it. This one's going to add a lot of firing, aiming stability overall, making this gun not sway at all, and you just have a very clean, precise burst. And then what you guys could also do is even increase the high grain. I mean, you could add the high grain rounds to increase the damage range, which that is going to increase the one burst potential. This is another very good build. So now we can get a one burst up to 44.7 meters. Although for me, I would rather run a magazine with an optic, and then for the underbarrel, just to bring up the mobility, we do got the hand stop on there. You could run something else like the X10 Phantom if you want more recoil control and mobility, but for me, since I found that there was already enough recoil control, I'm just gonna run the hand stop. And so if you guys do want a screenshot of my favorite DG56 build, there you guys go. That's gonna wrap it up for the DG56. So now let's get into the Wasp Swarm. This Wasp Swarm, oh my days, this thing is absolutely incredible. So we got a lot of mobility and a lot of recoil control. If you do want a suppressed version, I will give you guys a suppressed version of it, but right now this is my favorite one. Then for the secondary, we do have the it's called the tire, something like that. I am doing the Kimbo Snake Shot one. This is probably like the most broken second in the game right now. It doesn't have the most amount of range, but it is like a shotgun, pocket shotgun. You have a lot of mobility, and so if you guys do want the screenshot of that, there you guys go. For the tactical, I got the battle rage just so I can play aggressive. You can basically like pop the battle rage, then run into the battle, and then you can replenish your health a little bit quicker. 7 techs just so I can spam those off pretty quick. Munitions box, and then we got, oh, I actually shouldn't have scavenger gloves on there. On this class, I would need to run the assault gloves so then I can ADS and jump quicker. If you ADS and jump in this game, it does slow down your ADS. So if you add this, it's going to basically mitigate that con. And then we got the covert sinkers and the EOD padding on there. Now for the Wasp Swarm build. So this one is a little bit unique compared to my other ones. This one, we are going to be adding the Persilience 12 short compensated barrel just so we have a lot of recoil control, making this thing very, very easy to take those enemies off the head glitches. There are some better builds in this game, like you can add a suppressor instead of that, but then you're going to have a little bit of recoil and you might miss some of your shots. Another pretty good barrel is going to be the Reckless 90 long barrel, but you are going to have a little bit more recoil on the weapon, which is why I got the short barrel for this class. Then to compensate the recoil that this gun still has, we are going to be adding the Khmer Ryan 03 vertical grip. If you are building your own class and you need to add a lot of recoil control, this Ryan 03 vertical grip is definitely the best underbarrel in the game for that recoil control. If I'm on shipping, I am going to be adding the 100 round mag, although if I'm on any other map in the game, then I'll just run the 50, and then for search and destroy, usually I run the 40. Without the magazine, you only have about 30 rounds, and so it's really not that good. For the next attachment, we are going to be adding the Rampage Tactical. This one's going to add a lot of mobility that we are losing with the other attachments. Yes, okay, I guess it's only going to be adding handling. We're still losing mobility, but you guys are going to see this gun already has a lot of mobility, and now when we add this, the ADS speed is going to be very quick. For this last attachment, you could even say the same for the stock. The main part of this build is going to be this barrel, this underbarrel, and this magazine. These two things, you can swap them out for something else. So if you want, for me personally, like if I want to run an optic, I would take off the rear grip to add like an optic, and then you could add a laser if you want, or you could add the high grain rounds. I guess you can't add a suppressor, and so I'll give you guys a suppressed build in a second. For this one though, I'm running the Marauder grip just for a little bit more recoil control, and this is going to eliminate that sway when we do start to fire the weapon. So if you guys do want a screenshot of one of my favorite WSP Swarm builds, there you guys go. Another very good one for this gun. Oh, it looks like I didn't save it accidentally. Okay, so basically you want to add the Reckless 90 barrel, and then we're going to take off that stock. We are going to be adding the Fortress Heavy. We're going to take off the underbarrel. Then we're going to add the Shadow Strike, or if you want more damage range, add the Sonic Suppressor. This is probably my favorite suppressed Wasp Swarm build in the game, and so I hope you guys do like that. For the next build that we are going to be going over before the BAS-B, this is going to be the Ram 7. This Ram build, yo, this is going to make you think, I mean, this is going to make the enemies think you got a Cronus. Look at this. We got absolutely zero horizontal recoil on the weapon. There is a lot of vertical, so this is one of those guns that's going to take a little bit of time to get used to. This is very good on Warzone 2. You just want to like swap out one of the attachments, basically that 40 round mag out for the 60 round mag if you want to use this on Warzone. But you know, as you guys can see, this thing does not shake at all. For the secondary though, we got the Renetti. I believe I've already showed you guys this Renetti, but in case not, there's a screenshot for that. For this one, I guess we're running the infantry vest, stim, 7x munitions, assault gloves so we can play aggressive, covert sinkers so the enemies don't hear us, then EOD so we don't have to worry about the innate. So for the build, we got the Cronin long barrel on here just to add a lot of damage range, making this thing kill way quicker, up to 40 meters. Without this barrel, you're only going to get a fast time to kill up to 33 meters, which honestly isn't that far. So the Cronin headwind helps a ton. Yes, we are losing mobility and handling, but it's really not that much. And again, this gun, I mean, this game, every gun has a lot of mobility, so we can kind of like just add a lot of recoil control. And then since it does have a lot of horizontal recoil, we are adding the Cbass brake. This one's going to help eliminate a lot of that horizontal. We don't get any vertical or recoil gun kick control, but you guys can see that this thing has no horizontal, making it very, very easy to use. A big reason for that is because we have the Bruin Heavy support grip. This is where you could add something that adds a little bit of vertical. Like say I were to take off the Bruin Heavy, there's going to be a little bit of horizontal on the gun, but if I add the vertical, there's going to be less vertical recoil. So kind of use the gun for yourself. See the one that you like more. For me, I like it more with the Bruin Heavy, but you might like it more with the Khmer Ryan 03. So try them both out. Got the 40 round mag on here since the fire rate's so quick that you are going to be blowing through ammo. So the 40 round really does help out. And then if I were to add an optic, I would probably take off the magazine, or I would take off the underbarrel and I would add like a laser, rear grip optic, or an ammunition if I were to add anything like that. For the stock though, we do got the HVS 3.4 pad just for a little bit more recoil control, because again, you know, this gun already has a lot of mobility to where you don't really need to add mobility. All you gotta do is add that recoil control. You guys are gonna love this build. Now for the last build in this video, oh no, the second to last build. So this one is gonna be the BAS-B. The last build we go over, that one's really crazy. You guys do not want to miss out on that one. So I've shown you guys this class a lot. So if you are a subscriber, you might, oh, whoa. I usually don't miss any shots. Like I was saying though, if you are a subscriber, you might want to swap, I'm gonna skip forward because I've already shown you guys that build a few times. This is going to be my favorite suppressed Renetti build. We got a sight on there and then we got the suppressor so the enemies don't really see us. That is a very underrated build. Got the infantry vest, stim, semitex munitions, assault gloves, covert sneakers, and the EOD. Next time I'll try to mix up those things. It's just hard to like not run the best of the best, you know? And so for the barrel on here, to increase that damage range and add a little bit of mobility, since this gun really doesn't have the best amount of mobility. So now we can get a 3-shot kill up to 42.7 meters and we can have a little bit more mobility. By the way, this is my favorite build in the game. If I'm going against super sweaty players, this is the build I'm going to be rocking. Then so those players don't see where I'm at on the radar, we do have the Shadow Strike Suppressor that's going to hide you from the radar, making it a little bit easier to be more stealthy. For the underbarrel, we do have the vertical grip. This is just going to eliminate a lot of that recoil on the weapon. Yes, we are losing mobility, but that barrel that we are added is going to be mitigating that con. This gun only has about 20 bullets, and so that's why I got the 30 round mag on there, so then you can kill more enemies without actually running out of ammo. For the rear grip, this one is going to be the personal preference. So say you do want to increase the damage range, add the high grain rounds. If you're playing Warzone, you might want to add the hollow point rounds because it's going to make it so the enemies run away slower. Lasers are good, but then again, you know, you can just go to the optic and add the Cronin Intelast MSP, but the FSS OLEV laser, I think it's called, yeah, this one is very good, adds a lot of mobility to the gun. The flashlights are also very good. Like if you ever add the flash, like the flash 90, this one adds a lot of sprint to fire speed, making it very good for rushing. And then the stocks, I wouldn't really add them. No stock is pretty good on shipment. I'll give you guys like a little bonus shipment build, but right now this is going to be my favorite BAS-B build, and just like it's so nasty. Whoa, the burps are crazy. So if you guys do want a very good SMG version, this is one of my favorite SMG BAS-Bs. And then if you want my favorite SMG one to use on shipment in specific, this is going to be it right there. And I am on my mods account, so that's why the crimson skin's on there. On the main, we got the iridescent, so you know. And then for the last build that we are going to be going over, this is going to be the MTZ762. A lot of people don't realize how good this gun is. I think the BAS-B is a little bit better, but this is still a very underrated gun that I recommend a lot of you guys to try out. It has like not that much recoil, a lot of mobility, and it kills the enemies very quick. Although it's kind of hard to build a class. Like I have so many classes for this gun, but overall I did find that the precision Blackthorn barrel was the best, since it does maximize that damage range. And if we don't add that barrel, you can see the damage range. You only can get a 3-shot kill up to 19.1 meters. When you add this, you can get that 3-shot kill up to 23.8, which is a lot better.